Here. Just want to quickly update my tier list for 2.5, and yeah, like always, it's gonna be based around E0S0 for 5 stars and E6 for 4 stars, and I will be covering all the in games that give you rewards at least, like MOC, Purification, and Apocalyptic Shadows. So yeah, you guys can go to the end and just the tier list, or you can hear me yap about the reasons why I put in the respective tiers. So let's get into it, and I'm on my mobile as usual because this is the only thing I have. So yeah, it's gonna be a long time probably. And yeah, first unit again is going to be Asta because I'm going in turn motors. So I think Asta is going to be a solid A tier. Again, the tier is something special. Again, A, S, S plus, and SS. I would not recommend using units below B tier because they're not worth building. B below B, don't use. Above A, I think you can use them in MOC and in other game modes easily. It's just you're gonna take a long time to clear. That's all. The best units will help you clear the end game faster. That's the only difference. So, Asta I think is a solid free unit that you get while playing. Really good for dual DPS. Currently, dual DPS follow teams are really strong, and she is really good with the new hunt unit, Face Shao. So if you like her, you can use her. But just there are just better units, better 5 star versions of her out there. That's the only reason why she's on A tier. But a really good unit and really good support you can build on the early games anyway. Can help you really well with her alt that gives you a whole team speed. So really good unit. If you like her, you can build her. Herda, I think Herda is arguably one of the best pure fiction units, but that's the only place she's shines. I think she's better than Asta just because she literally makes the pure fiction easy. So build her if you want to clear pure fiction really easy. She's a really good unit. But outside pure fiction, you won't have any use with her. But you can easily get her E6 because I think her add-ons are literally free from clearing Simuni. So really good unit for pure fiction, but outside no big use. But yeah, if you want to make pure fiction a breeze and you don't want to spend getting 5 stars, this is a really good unit for pure fiction. So a solid A tier unit to get. Bronya, I think Bronya is going to be a easy S tier unit. So the thing, I think you all know what Bronya gives. She gives a hyper carrier, a unit, a full action advance, 100% action advance. That's really good. But the problem is, I think she's like really skill point hungry. That's the only downside she has. Her ult is like attack buff. So if you use the DDD, dance, you can also get some speed with her. But I think the only problem she has is her luggage. She's like really um, skill point neutral. Not neutral, it's negative. So you can't have to use other supports that can be skill point positive or better. Otherwise, I think she would have been a bit higher. But on the current you know MOC and Apocalypse Shadow, that's where she shines in my opinion. She does really well with certain teams anyway. So really good unit. I think she's like if you get her, build her. I think she's like one of the best. I think she's the best standard 5 star you can get. So yeah, if you have her, build her. She does very well. So yeah, great unit. Zilla, our first. Okay, I also got Serval. So I think Serval Serval, I think, is a B tier in my opinion. Serval, I think Serval struggles, even though she does really good in pure vision. She's not like that strong like people make her. You need kind of high investment, like you need some really good speed and really good relics. And I wouldn't recommend spending a lot to build a 4 star just to have be useful on one scenario. But I think she's not on the same level as Herda. I think Herda is straight up way better on pure fiction. It's just Serval just struggles a little bit, and I don't think it's just worth building Serval at this moment. It's just there are so many good lightning DPS. We have Acheron, we have freaking Kafka, even Jinyuan. I think is better with the current buffs that he's getting over the patches. So I think it's just not worth building Serval. Now talking about Zilla, our first limited unit. Now Zilla is a really tough one because if you have good relics and good team builder, I think she could be one of the best units. Like in Demos and Apocalypse Shadow, but you can have some crazy runs with her. But if you have mid relics like my account, I have mid relics on Zilla. She's just gonna be A tier. She's gonna be useful on MOC, but it's kind of hard on the current MOC, especially. I don't think she's usable if you have mid relics. If you have good relics, like if you have good relics, good team built around her, she can even do zero cycle even on the current MOC. I don't know how, but people actually pull it off a lot, and I kind of seen a lot of videos of it. And but me, a normal guy with normal relics, you're not doing anything on the current MOC. It's just it's almost impossible to do. Same goes for the uh, Apocalypse Shadow. The current Apocalypse Shadow is not good for her too. It's really hard for her. Unless your Zilla is really well built and you have really good supports built around her, then yeah, it's doable. Pure Fiction actually she does really decent. Okay, I actually got some 30,000 something points on the current Pure Fiction, so yeah, she does pretty decent in the Pure Fiction, but other two stages she struggles. Unless you have good relics, then yeah, she will pop off. I think she's just an 82 unit for now anyway. Jafar is B. So the problem with Jafar is Jafar does really well when it comes to sustaining and mitigating damage, but the only problem he has is he has no cleanse or effectors technically. So if he gets CC'd, it's GG, and he will get CC'd unfortunately. He doesn't have that many effectors on his kit. He's more like it's like for some reason they gave him a lot of effect hit trade. I don't know why, but they thought it was a good idea to give a preservation unit a lot of effect hit trade. So if he gets CC'd and if he cannot put his ult up, yeah, then you're doomed. Plus he has a better version of 5-star like Adventuring is just better than him in every way. But yeah, so Jafar, unfortunately, because he doesn't have any cleanse, he struggles. But he's a really good, damage indicator. I think. Sorry, Natasha, you're C. So the problem with Natasha is like she is just made at everything she does. Her cleanse is the only thing that she has. Her healing is really bad, and yeah, she doesn't have anything else going for her. And like I said, the only thing she has is like cleanse. But even then, it's just not worth building Natasha at the point. Like, even though she's free, don't build her, just ignore her. Okay, you get her early game, just use her early game, then just drop her. Now Pella is arguably one of the most rarest units you can get. Her being a debuffer, she's easily an S tier unit. Just because she gives you defense down, it's just unbelievable. I think she gets a 42% defense down on the whole enemy. AoE defense shred, incredibly valuable. Has the skill also, she can also remove a debuff from the enemy. The debuff remove particle is like not that effective now because there's so many buffs the enemies have, so it's kind of useless. But still, because you have the icon, like what's that? The Luca icon, like I forgot his name. I think it's like I forgot the Luca icon, the Luca Nihility icon that gives you defense down. That's a really good one with Pella. So I think it's like resolution shines like pearl. Yeah, that Lycone is really good with Pella, so she can also put a debuff with her basic attack. And you can do this basic skill rotation with ult, and it's really good with Pella, and she's really good for Akron teams and Jingliu teams. And even though they did release a 5-star version like her, like Zhao Q, I still think she's a really good unit you can build. Plus she's free. Like, you get her for free doing, story and stuff. So yeah, get her, build her. Really good unit. Clara is A. Now Clara I think is better than Zilla, right? Like, this can be anything. I don't think it matters. Akara's really good. She has been performing really well in all the stages, even in the current Apocalypse Shadow, MOC, even in Pure Friction, you can get easy 40,000 points with her. Can help you clear content. It's just she has a better version, in Yunli. Yunli is just better version of Clara and everything, she does, and it's just unfortunate, but Clara's problem is she doesn't have that many crit in her kit, right? Like Yunli. Yunli has so much crit in her kit, it's just Yunli's straight up better. But Clara is still, for a normal 5-star unit that you get from playing the game, if you're lucky, I think she's an incredible unit. So I think she's worth building if you get her. So yeah, I've been building her and I've been having a lot of fun with her because I don't have Yunli, so I've been having a lot of fun. And I'm gonna be honest, yeah, I think she helps you clear the game, and I think that's all it matters in the end. But the tier list only makes some of the units just help you clear the end game a little bit faster. And Clara takes a while because her Lycon and everything is more like ramp up more than anything else. But she's a really good unit, and yeah. Now I need to get some drinks before my throat goes away. Okay, we have Sambo. Sambo, I think it's B tier. I was a little bit sleeping on him a little bit, but on the current MOC on the first job anyway, yeah, he does pretty decent. Even on the pure fiction, because of the PF buff, he does pretty decent on the second half again. On the Apocalypse Shadow, he's bad just because the dot is kind of useless on Apocalypse Shadow. This Apocalypse Shadow anyway, because they don't have any dot buffs and it's kind of hard to play. Wind and Lightning, those are the two strongest versions of dot we have currently. And yeah, but I think he's still pretty decent when it comes to MOC and Pure Fiction, and he's been doing kind of good for the past two patches. So I hope he stays like this. I don't like Sambo, but I'm gonna be honest. I think he's been doing pretty good for what he provides anyway. It's just he has a better version in Blackstone. Physical MC, yeah, Hook, yeah. I'm not gonna talk about those two. It's just waste of time. Locha, I think Locha's here. Now Locha is just The other sustainers are just better than him. That's it. There's nothing else I can say. I think he's a really good unit for what he provides. He keeps your team alive and he does that really well. It's just the others just do better. And he has the emergency cleanse on him, and he also has all that also removes debuffs from the buffs from the enemy. It's pretty decent, but it's just not good enough to compete with the others. Just let's just say other sustainers are just straight up better than him at what they can provide. Jing Yuan, our general, we have two generals now. I think Jing Yuan is like a solid A. He's been getting so many buffs recently. I don't even know why, but yeah, he's been constantly being getting improved. It's just his kid is just holding him back, but the other, the units that are dropping are helping him so much. It's actually kind of crazy. I think he's a really good unit. You can build him really well. For now, I think the best mode is still Pure Fiction by far. The other modes he still struggles. In MOC, anyway, E0 S0, Jingyuan still struggles. I think his Lycon will make a big difference anyway, though. I think if you get his Lycon, I think he changes a lot. I think Jingyuan gets a little bit better. But you still need other teammates around him. But when you get teammates around him, he kind of pops up, sometimes. But it's just other units, like in the new units like Feisha and Akron or even Yun Li, he cannot compete with their damage. It's just they will just give you more damage for less investment. Let's just say that. Yanqing, yeah, I'm not gonna talk about Yanqing. The only thing he does is freaking ruin 50 PTs. So yeah, Bailu, I think Bailu is solid B. When it comes to Bailu, she provides you with the healing, and that's all she does. She doesn't have any cleanse on her kid. Unfortunate, but she does what she does anyway. That's providing healing, and that's it. She provides a lot of healing. So if there's a meta that you need a lot of healing, Bilo might come relevant again. But unless then, yeah, she's just that. A fun fact: she's really good on Simulation Universe. So yeah, her revive actually comes in clutch in Simulation Universe. But that's it, nothing else. Ting Yuan is easiest here. Ting Yuan is arguably one of the best 4 stars you have currently. Able to give a lot of energy, speed, attack, and damage boost to a single unit. Or you can also give a lot of energy to a support, so you can use their moves. It's kind of cool. But unfortunately, some of the new units like Feisha and Akron, they don't have the energy bar. They have their own way of getting all this. Kind of makes her a little bit irrelevant, but it doesn't matter because she has so many other good teams like Yunli, Clara, Dan Hang, Argenti. There's so many other DPSs that like her, so it just does not matter whatsoever. I think it's a really good unit. What in the hell is this shit? Just get out. How the hell do I remove this shit? I didn't have this thing yet. Get out. Moving on. Who else we have? We have Chinjue, I presume. Chinjue is just A tier. It's just, let's just say she is more like based on luck. Even though you get, Sparkle, it makes her a little bit better. It's still, she depends upon luck. So if you're lucky, you will do a lot of damage. If you don't get lucky, you won't do that much damage. She does pretty well on MOC and in Apocalypse Shadow, but she kind of struggles on the Pure Fiction. But she's a good unit if you get an E6, because if you don't get her E6, you'll just suffer. Sushang is actually been doing pretty decent. I think Sushang is top of 8 here. I think Sushang is kind of underrated. She's been doing pretty decent on the Apocalypse Shadow and in MOC just because of the physical, weakness. And you could use her like a hyper carry or like a super break team. She does pretty decent on both. Pretty good unit. But it's just there are other physical units that are just better than her, especially on hunt category. So what do I consider this as? Do I have HMC somewhere? Oh, yeah, there is the HMC. So I'm gonna consider this Preservation MC, and Preservation MC is like C tier. So yeah, not gonna talk too much. They're just not good. And now Yukong. Yukong is just hard. So Yukong's problem is she is kind of hard to build because of her speed tune requirement, and you need E6. By the way, if you don't have E6 Yukong, you are struggling. She's arguably the hardest Harmony unit to use, even though she gives a lot of buffs. Like she gives you crit rate, attack, crit damage. She's just straight out hard to speed tune. I think her best teams are Yunli and Clara teams. She does really decent, but even on Dr. Ratio team, she does really good. She's just hard to use. Like I think that's her biggest downside of she's just hard. March, Preservation March, C tier in my opinion, pretty decent.
Dang, I think C tier does okay damage. It's just yeah, you don't want to. You just don't want to waste resources on them. Um, I think she's better than you know general at this point. Himeko is just so good. I think she's easy A tier just because how good she's been on Pure Fiction. I think she's been good on that Pure Fiction when from the time she Pure Fiction dropped, she's been good. But now she's been doing good on the Apocalypse Shadow and on the MOC just because of the Super Break. Because super break means you can just build full break and Shimeko still does damage because of her trace. Her trace is so good. That freaking pizza cutter is so good for destroying enemy toughness. It's just so good. Her super break team actually pops up really well. But to be honest, most of the every super break team pops up, so it's not the biggest deal. But it's kind of cool. She's pretty good. She's pretty good, and I would recommend her to you use to build, especially if you want to clear pure fiction and you know do pretty decent in MOC. I think she's a pretty good unit. So if you get her, you should just build her. I think she's pretty good. Wealth, I won't say the same to Wealth. I think Wealth is pretty annoying. So there's two ways you can build Wealth. You can build him like a sub DPS. I think that Wealth is hard to build because you need so many stats. It's not even fair. Then you can go a sustain Wealth with full effective trade and speed. It's pretty decent, but I would not recommend because it's kind of hard to pull off because you kind of need to time really well. And if you don't time it well, your team's gonna die at the end. And there are just way better units than him out there. So yeah. Now Kafka is last year. Well, unfortunately, Dot is in a pretty bad situation on the current stage. The only mode I will say Dot pops up is like Pure Fiction now. They're not giving MOC buffs that relies on Dot or even on Apocalypse Shadow. They cannot do much. It's just Dot is in a bad situation. We need more Dot units for Kafka to go up. If we get more Dot units, Kafka can easily go to S plus and even maybe S triple S for all we know. But current situation wise, she's gonna be on S tier. She's a really good Dot enabler. That's all she does, and she does it really good. And the good thing is, if the stars align, she can pop up in every single end game, including Apocalypse Shadow. It's just the stars are not aligning really well, but she's a really good unit, and she's also a really good future-proof unit. So, yeah, Silver Wolf. Silver Wolf's gonna be on top of it here. The reason she's not S tier is simple. It's just the Lycon issue. You need to get her signature, or you need to have a event Lycon called Shitorial Lycon that dropped in way back in 1.1 patch. So, if you're a new player and you want Silver Wolf, you are not going to get a 3-turn ult, and that's kind of sad because you need 3-turn ult, or else you won't have 100% ult uptime. It's kind of sad. That character does not exist. Okay, Arlan doesn't exist. Blade, Blade is like Clara. I think at this point, Blade has not received a single buff. He doesn't have any support that's like buffs HP or anything, and it's kind of sad. But the good thing about Blade is he is versatile and he's doing pretty decent in every single game mode, including Pure Fiction, Apocalypse Shadow, and in MOC. He's doing pretty decent. You're not gonna get a 0 cycle or a 1 cycle clear. You might get a 3 or 2 cycle clear. That's what I'm getting with my Blade, and my Blade is like garbage. And you do have some playstyle you can play with him, but I think his best team currently is like the duo DPS setup. Because Blade hyper carry, you kind of need some of the best units like Sparkle and Bronya to make it viable. It's kind of hard to get a super speed Sparkle and Bronya. But if you can, then yeah, that team can also really pop off really well with Blade. Luca. Um, okay, I think Luca's pretty good. I think Luca with Super Break can pop up really well in Apocalypse Shadow and in MOC. He's gonna be useless in Pure Fiction. It's just we have a better version of him at 5 star. So yeah, Boot Hill is gonna come in clutch, clutch. Now Imbibitor. Now Imbibitor is cool. The problem with Imbibitor is I think E could be S plus if you have E2 S1. But at E0 S0 I think he's just straight up S tier, right? Um, he's one of the DPS that get really well with Eidolons, and his signature also makes him really good. But at E0, with Sparkle, I think he's just an S tier unit. I do see a really good players with him recently, and he's been popping up really good in Pure Fiction, and I mean not in Pure Fiction, Apocalypse Shadow, and in MOC is really good, especially on the current MOC on floor 1. I mean stage 1 of floor 12, he pops up really well. But he could be S plus in, if you get E2, he's going to be S plus. But because it's the E0 S0, he's going to be on S tier. But he's a really good DPS. I will say he's actually pretty decent, especially if you get Sparkle. I think he's really good. He's a really good pull. Fujuan is going to be a S tier unit. Now, Fujuan, I think, is arguably the best all-rounded, you know, preservation unit we have, or sustainer we have, just because she does what she's supposed to do. She keeps your team alive, and she also gives you that 12% crit rate. She's like, I guess you can say jack of all trades. You can almost stick her in any team except dot team. I think she's not that good on dot team, and she does pretty decent. It's just there are other sustainers that are really good at other teams, like Fua. I think Adventure is better. Hua who is so better on dot teams. Gallagher is so good on super break teams. It's just she doesn't have a good team where she's like pops up unless she's on Jingyuan team. Even then, on Jingyuan team, you probably gonna use Adventure. So it's like she doesn't have a really good team that she's like must pull, but she can also fit into a lot of teams. So it's like she's a pretty good unit. She'll keep your team alive. And there's also the problem being there's so many enemies now have DOT and AOE. She kind of struggles a little bit, but she still does. She still does the job. So pretty good unit. Lynx is gonna be on beach here. The problem with Lynx is she has cleanse and that's all she has. She has like white area cleanse. As I said, she doesn't have the same amount of healing like Bailu, but her cleanse is the only thing that makes her better. So if you want a unit that can cleanse your team, and in dire scenarios, she's good, but she's not gonna heal that much, and that can also be a bad thing because sometimes you need more healing than cleanses, and sometimes you want cleanse, and it's like a double-edged sword, I guess. Only Gwenifin is easy, A tier. So Gwenifin does really good with Super Break as a DPS, or she can also use as a I don't know, debuff for Akron team. So she is versatile for a 4-star, and yeah, you should build her. Like Gwenifin is cool, and you should build her. She's fun. Jingliu. Oh my god, Jingliu. I'm gonna be honest. I think Jingliu is harder than Blade at this moment. Like Jingliu is so hard to use, man. Like she's almost impossible to use on Pure Fiction. Actually, she's usable. I think you can get 28,000 points with her. You're not gonna get max score, but you can still get somewhere around 28 to 30,000 points with her. Apocalypse Shadow on stage 2, she does good. Against Argenti, she does good, but it's just let me just say it's not fun using her like old times. The enemies have way too much health, and you just don't have enough burst to burst the enemy down. With E0, I think with her Lycon, things does change a little bit. But if you don't have Lycon and stuff, you're gonna struggle, and she has fallen off. You have to accept. If you're a Jingli main, you just accept she has fallen off. Jue is just Jue. It's just hard to build, but if you build a team around her, yeah, Jue pops up and pops up really well. Oh my god, now here comes Topaz, arguably my hardest unit to rank. Like, but I can guarantee tell you, she is S tier with Beijao team. Easy. It's not even close how disgusting that team is with Beijao, you had Robin, Topaz, and if you get Adventuring, that team is disgusting, and Topaz is easiest tier with Beijao's release. No, I don't want to talk. It's just the amount of times you can attack the enemy can't. I don't even know if they can even hit you. Like you will at least hit them 10 times before they can hit you. It's crazy. It's crazy. Again, I think the Topaz the only problem is she sucks at pure fiction like every other hunt unit. So yeah, Argenti. Man, there's so many 8 tier units, right? Holy shit, Argenti. Yeah, I think Argent is there. Okay, Argenti, arguably the best. He does this. I don't even want to talk about him. I think he's the best pure fiction unit besides Jade. So he's like a pure fiction king. But outside pure fiction, he just doesn't have the damage that E0 to do. Like if you have his Lycon, then yeah, sure. Then he kind of pops up with MOC. But if you don't have his Lycon, his damage falls off. You need to build a team around him. You need to have Tingyon. You have to have Ho Ho. You also had to have Sparkle. So kind of expensive team. But it's also like a hyper carry. He's like a you need to good relics on him too. So it's just too much investment for him to work compared to the other DPS in my opinion. Hanya is just A tier. Like there's so many A tiers, man. I can't believe it. Hanya. She gives a ally or a DPS or a hyper carry attack buff, speed buff, and that's all she does. And she can also refill some energy like Sparkle. But yeah, Hua is as well. There is nothing else I want to talk about this character. This character is arguably the most sleeper sustainer we have. Really pops up at dot teams. I think her best team is dot team, but she also does so much well against other teams like Gang Hang, Argenti. She's also pretty decent in break team if you don't have Gallagher build. She does that too. She's just good. Plus, at the current MOC against the Kafka boss, she is the best sustainer just because she can literally cleanse the unit that gets pulled up by Kafka's domination. So really good unit. Don't sleep on her. Does pretty well on every single form. Pure Fiction does well. Purple Shut Up does well. MOC does well. Just don't sleep just because of Argent, Adventuring. She's there. She's really good unit. Okay, now we have one man. I don't even want to talk about this unit. Like, do we have to talk about this? I think everybody knows why she's there, and yeah, break efficiency, all type press pen, speed boost, damage bonus, and she does it on whole team, not just on a single ally, for the whole team at E0S0 broken. You cannot also, if you want to play Super Break, she's the must have unit. You need her to play Super Break. So yeah. Um, Doctor Ratio is. I still think he's S tier, right? He still packs a punch. I think he's so S tier, yeah. For a free unit, we got him for free. So if you're new and you don't have him, he's still good. It's just a certain new, follow-up unit just took his place. Let's just say that. Does pretty well in FMOC, Pure Fiction, even on a pop shot. Like I actually couldn't believe he actually does pretty decent in Pure Fiction. You can still get 30,000 points with him if you run, Robin, because it's Robin. And I will say if you have him, or if you got him from the free event way back and you didn't build him, you should build him. He will save your ass in a lot of dire scenario because for some reason they like imaginary enemies, and yeah, he destroys imaginary enemies. Let's just say that. And you want a debuffer or a really good buffer like Robin, or a debuffer like Silver Wolf is really good with ratio. Just build him; he's pretty good. Black Swan. I actually supposed to plug Jiaoqiu or whatever. So Jiaoqiu, the new debuffer we got, he's easiest here. He's better than Pala. He's better than all of them in my opinion. Kafka? Yeah, I think better than Kafka. Yeah, I think he's pretty good. Now about Jiaoqiu's problem, I was like, he is incredibly good at one team in Akron teams, and he is easily the best unit in that team. But aside from Akron, of course, he is literally unused. It's not like he's unusable. He's second fiddle on every other team. Like in a break team, you can use him, but he's not gonna be as good as Ruame. You can use him on a follow-up team, but he's not gonna be that good like Robin. You can try to use him on a dot team with Kafka, but again, Ruame is better for dot team, so it's like he's like second fiddle. But on Akron team, he's easily one of the best units you can have. So you can pull him. He's pretty decent. Misha is Misha. She's good. She's good. If you build her, she's pretty decent. She can almost put out the same damage as Jingle Yu, or even more. I like her better. So Black Swan, same problem as Kafka. It's just Dot is being neglected, but she still does really good on Pure Fiction. So if you want to make Pure Fiction easy, she can do it. And yeah, there's nothing else I can talk, man. It's just they're not buffing Dot. They need to bring a really good Dot unit or a Dot buffer that can make Dot even stronger. It's just they're good. These two together right now, really strong, really really strong. Um, Sparkle now. Sparkle at E0. Is she? I think she's better. Yep. I still think E0 Sparkle on the current meta is still a S plus unit. She is good. Like, don't sleep on Sparkle. I'm gonna be honest. The ability to give you skill points, action advance, action advance forward for 50% action advance forward and skill points on top of skill damage boost with her health is it's still huge, man. And yeah, you could say she doesn't work with the new units that well, but she's still good. She's still a good support. It's just, yeah, you can say other units are just better, but she's still good. So yeah, Yeah, keeper, builder. She's good. Akron. I will say Akron kind of fell off a little bit. For E0S0 anyway. If you have a limited Lycon or if you have E2, she's still top tier in my opinion. It's just at E0, even after Zhao introduction, I will say Zhao made Akron a monster in pure fiction, but in the other other game modes like Apocalypse Shadow and MOC, she is struggling. But you can still get a two cycle on the first step. It's just adventure inside is just a pain, man. It's just not fun running her. But in overall, I still think she's an S plus GPS. So if you like her, build her, get her. She's good just because she uses different supports that other DPS don't use because she likes other Nihility units. Adventuring, I think he's like a must-have support. If you are struggling with survivability, get him. Best unit in Fallout team. You won't get a better sustainer than him. Really, really, really. I don't know what I'm saying. Really, really good for Akron team too because he has that debuff. You won't die. I can promise you that you won't die. You won't get CC'd unless you don't have that many high effectors. Sometimes I don't know. His effectors is kind of weird, but he's good. He's like one of the most pulls at the moment just because how strong Fua is. Like Fallout teams are just so strong. You kind of have to have him. If you ask me a sustainer that's like must pull, I think he's better. Even at the link shot, the new unit. I don't know. Plus, he's kind of easy to use. I think his skill point negative too. You always basic attack with him, so yeah, you can also do damage with him. That's a cool part. He does damage while sustaining. Gallagher. Gallagher is. I think he's straight out S tier. Like, come on, man. Like in break teams, he's better. അച്ഛാ അതെ അവരതാ കൊണ്ടുവന്നു ഗ്യാസ് കൊണ്ടുവന്നു വാങ്ങേ Super break team, best unit easily, not even close. But other teams, he's like a decent, sustainer, nothing crazy. But he's free. You get him for free for an event. And if you get E2, he also gets a cleanse. So pretty decent, pretty decent. It's just there's a 5-star version of him now, and let's just say it's not gonna change much. Wow, here comes the best DPS in the game. Let's go. I'm gonna be honest, Boothill, I think for E0S0, I think he's just better than Akron at the current stage. Except on Pure Fiction. I think in the Pure Fiction, Akron kind of pops up, I guess you can say that. But in Apocalypse Shadow and in MOC, he is despicable, means despicable. The only problem he has is you need to get his trace up, the pocket trick shot. So he's more like a ramp up DPS. When you get that pocket trick shot up, you will see some big numbers. And the current adventuring boss, you can two tap him. Like you can literally two tap him with him. Like he's that good. Just yeah, to be honest, if there's a rerun, I will actually get him. He's the second fun DPS currently in my opinion. I think Phasia is just straight up more fun, but he's really good too. So get him, really good. HMC is HMC is there just because of Super Break. Okay, he's only good at Super Break and nothing else. And I'm not gonna talk too much about him because yeah, he's just a Super Break anti. Unfortunately, Super Break is the second strongest archetype, so yeah, he's gonna be really good. He's broken, he's free, just build it. Robin. Oh, Robin. Fuwa Queen. Like if you want to run Fuwa or any Fuwa related DPSs, follow-up related DPS, you need her more than him. It's just, he's more like a survivability. She's more like what do you call a nuke. You want your DPS to do more damage, yeah, you want her. Or you want to do 0 cycles, you want her. She's just that good. At full team action advance with damage boost plus 2000 attack. Oh my god, that's crazy. With her ult, it's just crazy. Yeah, you just get her. Literally, her banner's on now. You just get her and you'll just break the game. It's just that fun. Well. Look at who we had. We got Firefly. Now, Firefly is simple. She's only good at one team, and that team is Super Break. But unfortunately, that team is kind of broken. So yeah, she's gonna be at S plus. And I'm not gonna talk too much about her. She's just brain dead. Okay, she's literally easiest things to play. Jade is S tier. Like the thing is, she sucks at Apocalypse Shadow. But even on Apocalypse Shadow stage 2, she does decent. Like I'm not lying. On stage 2, I actually see some really good Apocalypse Shadow clear. By the way, I think it's a E00 J2, and yeah, she kind of popped up with that Himeko. So on Pure Fiction, best unit in Pure Fiction, not even close. Best sub DPS in my opinion. I guess best DPS, sub DPS, whatever you call it, is in Pure Fiction. Does really good on MOC. On the current MOC, it's not quantum favor, but she still does decent. I'm not gonna say she does unbelievably good. She does decent, and she does decent up official on second stage. So I think she's really good on S tier. I think she's really good for future too. March, you could say I'm being a little bit, Jade anti, but it's just she's good. It's just not that many people got her, and she still does really good. Just let's just say that. Meow. Yeah, March is March. Let's just say that. Hunt March. By the way, I would not recommend Super Break March. Just go, Crit March is really strong. You can literally do 200k enhanced basic attack if you build it properly. So yeah, I'm gonna rank her last because yeah. Yunli, 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 Yunli. Yeah, Yunli is there. Easiest here. You could say she's S plus. The only problem I'm not putting her S plus. She is a reactive DPS, not a. You can do whatever you need enemy to do. So you need to react on their action. So if the enemy doesn't have that many, attack patterns, then you kind of screwed. But she does do good in every stage. Apocalypse Shadow, Pure Fiction, MOC. So good side of her. Bad side, like I said, you cannot do much. You have to rely on the enemy. If the enemy doesn't attack you often, you're kind of screwed. But you can pop some really good numbers, and she's kind of easy to build because she literally has 100 crit damage built on her kit with her ult. And let's just say her set, the new set that built Valorant set, that set is kind of broken. That set is disgusting on Fallout units like her. So yeah, Mose. I actually built him, and I actually have a video coming out for him. He is good. He's good. I think he's good. Um, I think the only team he works on is Follow Up, but unfortunately, Follow Up is the best team currently, and on a certain team he pops. I think his two best teams are Facial team and Doctor Ratio team. That's the two team I found him useful. You need E2 by the way. His E2 is his best add-on. He starts to pop up, and he can do some really good damage while providing some buff. And let's just say he's kind of cool. So yeah, he's gonna be on a easy 8 tier for a 4 star. Lingsha, Lingsha, Lingsha. Lingsha is just a little bit slightly better Gallagher, but yeah, it's just nothing special about her. She has a freaking cleanse when your allies drop to full. I think she has a cleanse on her skill, and if the allies drop, more than half of her health, she's gonna have a insta cleanse, like what's the name, Losha. So emergency heal that heals the whole team. Then she has a break. I think she increased the break damage also of the allies, so it's kind of crazy. It's pretty good. Now, currently the best DPS in the game, currently, because DPS can change, they can go up and down all patches. So currently at E0, S0, best DPS is Fei Zhao across the board. The only mode she struggles is at Pure Fiction. Even then, she's getting 30,000 points consistently on the current Pure Fiction anyway. MOC, she can do zero cycle on the first up at E0 S0 with barely good relics and with the help of Robin, of course. You need Robin's help to do E0 cycle. And she can do a 2 cycle clear on Adventuring side with my team. My facial is doing 2 cycle clear anyway. So if you have a better facial with good relics, you can easily do a 1 cycle clear on Adventuring side. That's kind of crazy knowing there's no wind weakness. So that says a lot. Yes, she needs Robin to work with full potential. You need Robin, but the other DPS like Acro needs Jiao to be on full potential too. So it's not like he's the only one that's relying on a top tier support. It's just follow up unit is just too good. Like if you have him, and where is that other freaking her? You will break the game. I'm not lying. You will just break the game. You'll literally auto battle and you'll just clear the whole game. It's just that good. Fei Zhao is a really good unit. She becomes a must pull if you have Robin. And if you don't have Robin, don't worry. She can also do really good with the 4 stars. It's just her clear speed will go down by 2 cycles. That's it. Nothing else. She will still be a really good deep. I think her current value wise, she's better than Akron and Boot Hill. But I will say, if you have a really good Boot Hill and you know how to, stack up his pocket trick shot really well, this man still out damages her in Apocalypse Shadow and in Memory of Chaos. So Boot Hill is much more easier to build because he's break unit, so all you need is a speed and break, while she is still a crit unit, so it's kind of hard to build. But it's just she, for the moment, has better supports at what you literally can replace her with March, the other units, and you'll be still fine. It's just she also has a really good Lycon. We have some good Lycon. Boot Hill doesn't have a good 4-star Lycon yet, or 5-star Lycon that like break, heavy. So, but it is what it is. Space Shao, I think she's also fun. I've been having so much fun with playing her, and yeah, I think she's the best unit currently, the best DPS anyway. Because I want to put a one DPS at triple tier minimum. It's just these two supports are just straight out despicable. I mean, in my opinion, Robin is still the best unit on the current, but I think Ruame, I think overall Ruame is still the best unit. It's just Robin is up there, but these two, they can go down if they can go down for all I care. But I think their value is just having these two will just make your world better. I think your account better because they're just that good. So we're coming to the end of the tier list, and this is my final tier list. And if you guys think there should be any changes, you can tell me in the comment. Of course, tier list there will be backlashes because your best your favorite character is not in the tier list. It's just not my fault, man. This is what I think after playing my game because everybody has their own account and their own view, and this is my view of the game. And I think these are the best units. And I think the top two, these two are the best units, but these two can be gone down the tier. But I think they're just on the current moment, these two are also valuable. It's just, yeah. I think this is the great tier list. So, what do you think about this tier list? And if you did, find this tier list helpful, my throat is hurting, so you guys could leave a like and subscribe for so I can grow my channel, I guess. So, yeah, and yeah, see you on the next video. And here's the full tier list.